Hey, what's going on, everyone? This Saturday, September 20th, the Michigan Wolverines travel back out to Lincoln, Nebraska to take on the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We're going to talk about it in this live stream. Myself and whoever else joins me. I'll see you on the other side of the intro. Go Blue. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Big Discussions 76 Sports. My name is Dr. Anwar Youssef Dunbar. I am a proud Michigan alum. I decided to rep my department tonight. I graduated from the University of Michigan from the Department of Pharmacology. That was during the last run of Lloyd Carr, and that was during Tom Brady's senior season, during which he played with the likes of Anthony Thomas, the A Train, David Terrell, Marquise Walker, Benny Joprou, Sean Thompson, Jeff Backus, Steve Hutchinson, Marcus Knight. All of those guys were on that team. Give me 1 second here. That was the offensive side of the ball. On the defensive side of the ball, you had guys like James Hall and Dahani Jones and Rob Renus and Todd Howard and Dwayne Patman, I believe. So that was the last run of Lloyd Carr. Speaking of which, our Lloyd Carr fans here, let me play this for you, Mr. Abdul Gaines.
For the last 28 years, I've spent my life in the greatest of places, the University of Michigan.
The University of Michigan. And Abdul Gaines, we're going to give you one more, and then I'm going to jump in to this.
He has lost to Alabama, Georgia, Clemson, Michigan twice, and everybody that beats him does so because they're more physical than Ohio State. And I think Notre Dame will take that same approach.
All right, let me give my my synopsis of the game. Hopefully, Marmar shows up during that time, or Dom, or Maniac, or anyone else who wants to come up. I don't have a lot to say, but I would like to open it up for some of you viewers to come up if you want to come up and let me know what you think about the game. So last week, the Michigan Wolverines defeated the Central Michigan Chippewas 63-3 in the Big House. So they rebounded nicely after that disappointing loss down in Norman, Oklahoma. But last week's victory was not unexpected. So, and that's what we were all looking for. We were looking for a decisive win and not the struggle. And the Wolverines delivered that. So now the question is, what are they going to do this Saturday against a top-tier opponent out in Lincoln, Nebraska? The Wolverines have a history of going out there recently. I think their most recent trip out there might have been with Team 142. That was the Cade McNamara-led squad. They eked out a victory there off of Cade taking care of the ball and also off of the gutsy running of Hassan Haskins and that offensive line. So the question is, what will the Wolverines be able to do this week? So let me pull this up really, really quickly. First of all, shout out to Corey Banks. Thank you for being here. He says, the good doctor. Thank you. That's a nickname given to me by the GOAT, Johnny Olden Jr. He says, go blue. And this is for Lloyd Carr, I think, from Abdul Gaines. And Abdul Gaines says, Ohio beats the brakes off mush mouths Irish the past 2 times. He needs to worry about dwindling playoff spot. And Kickin' Chicken says, go blue. All right. So shout out to Bo Lytle. Respect is earned. Please smash that like button. And also, if you are new, please consider subscribing to the channel. All right. So the Wolverines' next opponent is Matt Rule's Nebraska Cornhuskers out at Memorial Stadium. So that game, that kickoff is in 2 days and 20 hours, 10 minutes, and the seconds are ticking down. So this will be the 4th game of the season. The Wolverines have a bye next weekend, but this is the start of Big Ten play. So regardless of what happened in Norman, Oklahoma, I know a lot of people were distraught over the loss and disappointed over the loss. The reality is the Wolverines, all of their goals are still ahead of them. In theory, the Wolverines could win the Big Ten. The Wolverines could beat Ohio, Abdul Gaines. The Wolverines could still do that. The Wolverines could still secure an at-large bid for the 12-team college football playoffs. So all of that is still in play. The question is, what are they going to do? Before I jump into the predictions for the game, let's take a quick look at how the AP Top 25 rewarded Michigan for their lopsided loss. I'm sorry, their lopsided victory. Their lopsided victory over the Central Michigan Chippewas. So this is the latest AP Top 25. Ohio is up there at the front, along with Penn State. So Penn State is number 2, and Ohio is number 1. Michigan. Let's see. Illinois is number 9. I'm just reading off the Big Ten teams here. Illinois is number 9. Let's see. Yeah, Indiana's number 19. And the Wolverines are number 21. So they rewarded Michigan by elevating them to 2 spots after that lopsided victory over the Central Michigan Chippewas. So that's where they are. So they can, if they win, they'll go a little further up. If they lose, and depending upon how they lose, Michigan could drop all the way out of the top 25. Let's see. So what's the prediction for Saturday's matchup out in Norman? I want to say Norman, Oklahoma. Lincoln, Nebraska. Both teams are red and white. Both teams were legacy. Abdul Gaines, legacy. They were legacy Big 8 powerhouses. So I'm, and they both wear red. Shout out to Jordan Marshall. We don't like teams who wear red. All right. So the prediction for this game, according to the experts, is that Michigan is going to win by a field goal. Okay, and I think I'm going to get into why I think they're calling the margin that close. But as of now, Michigan is predicted to win this game by 3 points. I'm not going to read that for you guys. You guys don't want to hear me read. So let's go over just briefly while I wait for Marmar and some of the other guys to show up. Let's go over what happened against the Central Michigan Chippewas and also what Nebraska did and why I think that they are predicting the score to be that. So in terms of the results from the Michigan-Central Michigan game, Michigan played an excellent game. It wasn't mistake-free. Okay, and I think that there were quite a few things to clean up. The Wolverines need to shore up some things before going into the Nebraska game. Hopefully they do. Kicking Chicken is calling his score here, 31-24. So he's picking Michigan to win by a touchdown. Going forward, I don't think I'm going to call scores myself. I think I will say what I think Michigan needs to do to win the game. But I don't think I'm going to call a score going forward. Maybe that's being a little bit superstitious. But anyway, Michigan won that game 63-3. Okay. And I'm going to focus on the Michigan stats here. So it was a good game because coming out of the Oklahoma game, the question was, will the coaching staff turn Bryce Underwood loose? Will they take him out of the bubble wrap? Shout out to Sam Webb. So during that game, they took him out of the bubble wrap. They let him throw early on. They let him run early on. And Bryce Underwood went 16 for 25 for 235 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Bryce Underwood led the ground game with he carried the ball 9 times for 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. As a matter of fact, most of Michigan's touchdowns in that game came on the ground. Will they be able to do that against Nebraska? We will see. Marmar is here. Give me a second, Marmar, and I will drop the link. All right. Marmar wasn't feeling too good after that Oklahoma loss. But none of us were feeling good after that Oklahoma loss. But Marmar really, really took it here. All right. So Justice Haynes had a monster game. He carried the ball 14 times for 104 yards and 1 touchdown. Jordan Marshall was able to produce as well. He carried the ball 10 times for 52 yards and 2 touchdowns. He would have had a 3rd touchdown if Andrew Marsh had not gotten that penalty. So that's going to be something Michigan's going to have to do on the road, is they're going to have to limit the penalties and try to play as mistake-free as they can. I'm looking at you, Andrew Marsh. All right. Let's see. Oh, so Abdul Gaines has Nebraska defeating Michigan 20-14. Okay. It sounds like Matt Rule has his troops pretty fired up. Let's Toast Media says Marmar salute, go blue. Michigan. All right. So please smash that like button. Shout out to Boletto. Respect is earned. Let's see. So yeah. So those are Michigan's top rushers. I suspect this is the lineup that we're going to see. And if they continue to let Bryce run the ball, I think we're going to see a lot of production on the ground, and they're going to attempt to put a lot of pressure on that Nebraska defense on the ground. Samaj Morgan caught 4 balls for 69 yards and 1. He was the lone recipient of a touchdown catch in that game. And Bryce was able to spread the ball around. He threw 1 interception, which was almost 1 interception at the beginning of that game. But he's going to have to be very, very accurate in this game and also protect the ball. I'm going to go to the team stats really, really quickly. Michigan generated 616 yards in that game. 235 of those were in the air. 381 of those were on the ground. If they can reproduce that running game on the road, I think that will be very, very powerful for them. They generated 35 first downs. They were 8 for 11 on 3rd down, 1 for 2 on 4th down. They ran 80 total plays. The penalties hurt Michigan in that game against a stronger opponent. Those will be more significant. Hopefully they're able to tone that down, and they won the time of possession. Let's see. What's going to be huge on Saturday is getting pressure on Dylan Raiola. He had a monster game against their opponent. Jayshon Barham generated 2 sacks, and Jair Hill got a sack as well. And Dominic Zavada, he's struggling early relative to how he played last season. So hopefully Dominic Zavada is able to become the clutch kicker that we had last season and get back into the form that he had. So a quick look at Nebraska, then I'll drop the link. Marmar, you come up and let us know what you think about Saturday's game. And also maybe tell us about last week's game. I think it looks like you met Bryce briefly. So Nebraska. Yeah, so Nebraska defeated the Houston Christian Huskies 59-7. So almost a mirror image of our game. Okay, they played a lesser opponent and they blew them out pretty decisively. So this is what the Michigan defense. Hopefully, Wink has something drawn up for this and he's schemed it just right. Dylan Raiola went 15 for 21 for 222 yards and 2 touchdowns and no interceptions. Their leading rusher was Emmett Johnson with 13 carries for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. Next up was Quentin Ives with 12 carries and 1 touchdown. And then TJ Lateef, he carried the ball 3 times for 15 yards and 1 touchdown. So they got quite a bit of production on the ground as well. Their leading receivers were Dane Key with 4 receptions and 1 touchdown. He caught 4 balls for 104 yards, and Cortez Mills with 3 receptions for 98 yards and 1 touchdown. Looks like Ja'Cory Barney Jr. caught 3 balls for 22 yards and 1 touchdown. So Dylan Raiola was spreading the ball around, and hopefully Wink is drawing up something to get a nice pass rush on that kid, hopefully with 4 players instead of bringing 5 or more. Let's see. Marquez Watson-Trent generated 1 sack. Riley Van Poppel generated 1 sack. Tassan McAuliffe generated 1 sack. So, a major question mark with our team is the offensive line. Okay. So if they're able to get back there and bother Bryce, that will impact how our offense performs. I'm not going to go over the special team stats. I'm going to take a quick look at their team stats, then I'll drop the link right now because after this, I'll be done talking, and I know Marmar wants to give his predictions on the game, and I'll probably pin that link in case Dom or anyone else comes, but the link is there. Similar to our game, Nebraska generated 554 total yards. For them, the passing game was dominant. They generated 362 passing yards and almost 200 rushing yards. Okay. They had 30 first downs. They were 5 for 9 on 3rd down. Just like us, 1 for 2 on 4th down. Similar to us, they had 4 penalties. So I think those could hurt either team. Okay, but Michigan's on the road, and we want them to not have those penalties. And they held the ball for 30 minutes and 17 seconds. Like us, they played an inferior opponent. So I think that's why the prediction is so close, because both teams are coming off big wins over inferior opponents. They're feeling good, but I think, will Michigan's defense travel? Will that running game travel? If that running game travels, in terms of Bryce running the ball, and in terms of Justice Haynes and Jordan Marshall running the ball, I think Michigan will have a good chance of pulling this out in Lincoln. Let me pin that to the chat. All right. For anyone who wants to come up, the link is now pinned to the chat. Marmar, I saw you there. I know sometimes he works late, but the link is pinned to the chat there. I had some predictions for the game there in the chat already. If you haven't given your prediction for the game, let me know what your prediction for the game will be. It was good to see Bryce unleashed. Hopefully they will keep him unleashed, and Michigan plays a penalty-free game, and they're able to get pressure on Dylan Raiola. Okay, so they've seen the tape from the Oklahoma game. So I believe Dylan Raiola, I believe he's a mobile kid as well. So look for that kid to move around and move the pocket and get out and use his legs as well. So should be interesting. But the last time the Wolverines were there with Team 142, it was Hassan Haskins that carried that team to victory. Marmar, the link is there. It's pinned to the chat. It's right there in the chat if you want to hit it and come up. Up. There he is. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Good, man. Good. It's we're at Hump Day, so I'm ready for the weekend to get here for the game and for other purposes. But yeah, here we are.
Yeah. So what I'm looking forward to in this game is consistency from building off last week. Um, I know it was a lesser opponent, um, but Central Michigan held up against Pittsburgh, a Pat Narduzzi defense. So they ran 200 yards on them. So I like the progress that Michigan showed after that loss. Um, so I just want to see consistency out here on the road. I think Bryce Underwood got a taste of what the road is. If he could be a little more comfortable on the road and start getting used to that, because that's how their schedule is set up. I think we can win the game, but it has to be the players execute what is being told them to execute. So that's what I want to see: continuity and communication, because it's gonna be loud. We want everybody in their right spots on the defense. If Rob Moore plays, that helps. So and we keep pressure on Raiola. They do run the ball here and there, but they pass more. So if you could defend that pass and get rushed up, get him get penetration on him and rush him in the pocket without letting him scramble, then that's another way we can win the game. But again, we got to execute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I think having Jay Sean there for the entire game, that'll certainly help
Yep.
this time, and it'll be interesting to see what Bryce does unleashed on the road now, running, throwing. What did you think about him being unleashed last week?
I liked it. I totally liked it. So if somebody disagree with me, but I like the Harbaugh family. I always have. And Biff Poggi been around there for years. Even his son played for Michigan. So he talks quirky, and I like that. And he showed that he can manage the game. No disrespect to Sharon, but he did manage that game better than Sharon. There's a couple plays where he called the timeout at the right time, kept the guys together, um, kept them focused on the job at hand. So, um, yeah, man, I just want consistency in this game. I'm not gonna make no prediction. I'm staying away from it. I'm not gonna badmouth Nebraska. We learned that from Oklahoma. So sometimes we got to get humble to see what's there. So, like I said, they unleashed them, and then a lot of them breakdowns when he was taking off. That was all five of them out of the six. Five of them was improvised on his behalf. So, like Bill Poggi said, we're gonna let them play. Just let them play. See, just let them play and let them get comfortable. They said he couldn't do it against D1 players. Well, he showed out on Saturday.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, you know what? A player that I'm hoping really tightens things up is Andrew Marsh. He's got a lot of ability, but he keeps committing some penalties. And
Yeah,
I think we can get
just
him
got to
going. I
work
think
out them
that'll do a
kinks.
lot. Yeah.
Yep, you just got to work out them kinks. I like that I seen the freshmen that so we didn't see none of the freshmen like that playing good until the end of the season. Well, if you're paying attention to our season this year, they starting to come together faster than last year. You got Sanders that start in that corner. He's pretty darn good. He's a lockdown guy. Elijah Dodson made an interception. That's a freshman. Samaj Earl locked down somebody. That's a freshman. Um, Jasper Parker got his first touchdown. That's a freshman. Bryce Underwood went out. That's a freshman. So it's freshmen carrying this team as well. So I like the development that we see him before we even get to November. So that'll help out. That's building depth. We need depth if we're gonna make it to the playoffs.
Keegan, the link is pinned. The link is pinned there to the chat if you want to come up. So
But like
you've been there before. Anyway, go ahead. Depth.
like I said, the development of the freshmen is telling what's going on in that Shinbackler Hall. Don't be surprised if you see more freshmen step up to help the team win. So we Morgan said they take 7 DBs with them. Um, so hopefully all 7 hold up well.
Okay. I think
Like I,
also getting production from the tight end, whether
yes,
it's Klein or Hogan Hansen. I think getting one or both of those guys healthy in catching balls, I think that'll bode well for the offense as well. Because we certainly missed Marlon Klein against Oklahoma.
but if you notice Marvin Klein in the game, he's a good blocker, so that helps the O line too. I know it seemed like, but L. Borges was impressed with how the O line held up. It was just Bryce just took the initiative to get the yards instead of making a bonehead play. Like Johnny would say, bonehead plays. He don't make them. Yeah, he threw an interception, but like Johnny said, he was filling himself out. You know what I'm saying? He was just heat checking himself. So, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you do that.
Yeah,
See what you can get. You see what you can get off. So
yeah. If he can start consistently connecting with McCulley and Goodwin, yeah, that'd be huge too. He likes Samaj, but if he can start
but
to
you know why he likes Shamar? They used to do 707s in high school, so
yeah,
that's why.
yeah, yeah. But we got that Macaulay's 6'5", right? He's a big guy. So in
Yeah,
theory, you can just throw
I
that guy
talked to
down the ball.
McCulley.
He should be able to go
I
up and get
talked
it. Go
to
ahead.
I talked to McCulley after the game Saturday.
Okay, yeah, man. It looks like you been hanging out at the tunnel, man. You get to meet the guys. Tell us about that.
Nah, I wasn't at the tunnel. I was over there by Shinbackler Hall, just chilling,
Okay.
just hollering at the players. You feel me? Like I was talking to McCulley. He played me on a 5 though. I'm like, you got to break off your route. Sometimes you got to break off the route and get open. And then he was like, "All right, I got you." And he tried to give me 5, and then just slick back. I said, "All right, I got you." He was like, yeah, yeah. I love them guys, man. I talked to Hossman's dad, because they had that episode on ESPN, and I was letting him know I was adopted too. So, I was just giving him his flowers for going out his way to adopt Hossman, giving him a second chance at life. Um, And then I hollered at Justin Haynes. I told him, watch your highlight and then watch Barry Sanders highlight. You great. You do. I think he run like Barry. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I told him to watch the highlight, and then I talked to his mom. I said, you did a good job with that young man right there. And then, yeah, man, I talked to Derek Moore. I talked to Lynch, Crippen and his dad, and then Sullivan and his dad. Um, who else? Jaden Davis, Samaj Morgan. I told him about the punts. He was like, man, get out of here. I was like, man, you got to get them punts together, man. And then I was talking to Cusdro or whatever his name is, the running back.
Okay.
I was talking to him for a minute. He was because we was talking and I had my phone out and he seen Greg Harden as my screensaver. He said, man, that's my guy right there. And that's what I'm trying to be to the Michigan team, the new Greg Harden. So that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm working towards.
Okay, Bryson cuts off. Okay, looks like you met Bryce briefly getting his car or something, right?
Nah, Bryce pulled up and I'm like, yo, what up, Bryce? Let me holler at you for a second. He's like, come on. And then we talked for a minute and then he let me take a picture with him. You know what I'm saying? In the yellow Corvette. So, and then I talked to Vic Poggi. I talked to Chip Lindsey. You know what I'm saying? I was talking to everybody, man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, they're good guys, man. They're good young men. They still young men at the end of the day. And sometimes they just need that, I'm not just a fan. I just love Michigan. I was born there. You know what I'm saying? It's a deeper thing, for me. And it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? I live in Ohio, so it means a lot more too. You know what I'm saying? So, okay.
If anyone else wants to come up, the link is pinned there to the chat. So just hit the link.
So yeah, it was pretty cool. I talked to Payne. I talked to Jason Avant. Yeah, man. I talked to Zeke Berry. Gave him some Reese Pieces. Because he held up to his deal when I talked to him at the New Mexico game. Like, man, go down there in Oklahoma, do your thing. He did his thing before he got hurt. Even though he gave up that one pass, he still had locked down. And then I gave him the Reese Pieces for holding up his bargain. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy. I talked to Giadi. He said he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. And then I talked to Rod Moore. He said this week. So yeah, man, it was dope, man.
Okay, so the players go over to Schembecker Hall once they leave the big house.
Yeah. And I park across the street from there, so that's where I'll be at.
Okay, yeah. When they come and play in Maryland, everybody hangs out near where the buses are, and they come out. Folks hang out with them for that. So we've been joined by Keegan. Keegan, you want to say something?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
What's going on? Go Blue.
Go Blue. Yeah, I'm excited about this one. You would think that we knew what the team is by now, but it's like I want to see what happens this weekend to see what it looks like with Bryce being a dynamic option at quarterback. So it'll be nice to see against good competition. Be good to see them roll out the quarterback, do design runs, or like a couple reads on the pass and then just tuck it and go, and see how the offensive line responds. We're kind of beat up a little bit, but once they use
Go out
Bryce
the back door
differently,
for that. I don't
once
give
they
a
use
fuck.
Bryce,
Sorry.
differently, you're good. We might see them be able to run the ball more consistently as well. So that's what I'm really looking for, a balanced attack that would open up the run game against a good, a Big Ten defense.
Okay.
What's up, Penn Gang?
I'm joined by Penn Game. Welcome.
Love you, baby boy.
What's going on, my brother? Can I be heard?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Nah, I'm good, but we got Keegan in here. Shout out to Keegan. Go Blue to everybody that's watching and everybody that's in studio. Mar, my guy. We've been talking, before this show about some of these things that are going to be not concerns, but need to be addressed going into this week. And we all needed to see what the response was going to be to Oklahoma, because that was an unknown for our fan base. And to see what they put on film with Central Michigan gives me a lot more hope going into Nebraska with they're kind of in the same situation as far as their whole season is pretty much predicated to this week with where their fan base is building this game up. It's always a big game with Michigan. No matter what, you're going to get everybody's best shot. Everybody's coming for you. No love lost with Matt Rule. So we're going into even more hostile environment with this one, I think, just because of the extra juice that's flowing, feeling disrespected with the coach sitting out. They're going to come with some juice. So we have to match that intensity, and we have to, like they say in basketball, weather the storm.
Okay. Yeah, Dom, I'll drop the link. It's pinned in the chat, but I'll drop it there. You're welcome to come up. Yeah, apparently
And
Matt Rule's been really firing up his guys, talking a lot of shit about Michigan.
He can use it.
still got it. The players still have to go out here. Just like Ben Posey said, we can coach, but we not the ones playing. We got to. The players still got to go out here and execute. He can hype his boys up all you want to. You still got to go play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. And the players have to believe it. That's how some coaches talk. They talk a lot, especially being, playing sports. You get coaches, they'll talk. But if that doesn't trickle into belief within the players, they're just talking the air. So, I mean, he's using it for Dom. You know what? I want to stop for a second and give Dom his flowers, man. Dom came on the show with TJ and John the last few times, and I really do appreciate John's take, and I like John's the way he breaks it down. He sees things that's a lot different than most, but it's still on point, and it's sharp analysis. And I agree with a lot of the things this guy says. And this is my first time being on live with him, so I definitely want to give him a shout out for what he says. And I love his enthusiasm for Ohio State. Like, he doesn't stop. Me and him both on our last one made sure we brought those guys up. We bring that up every show because we need to stay focused on the main objective, and they're in our crosshairs.
Thank you for those kind words, Pen Gang. Doc, Marmar, how you guys doing? Keegan?
Good, how are you, Dom?
Hey Dom, you the man. I love you, brother.
I don't know about the man, but love is mutual, Mark.
You the man.
Pen Game, thank you for the kind words. And as I said on the show the other day, your perspective that you give the guys that are watching in the chat about what it's like being a player in those situations. A lot of those kids, unfortunately, don't know anything other than the joystick playing a video game. They just don't get it. They really don't get it. And it's unfortunate, but that's where we are. I don't have any predictions on the game. The only thing I noticed, if you guys have gone back and watched the game from last week, the one thing that I picked out was that Michigan was snapping the ball with 12 to 14 seconds left on the play clock. And I went back and I watched the second half of the Penn State game, Doc. We were talking about that. And JJ had 3 runs, but they ran the clock down. And I believe that Michigan could have success in running the Bryce Underwood show as long as the clock is running. We didn't have an incomplete pass. Then Bryce just slow down a second and let that sucker go down to 1 to 2 seconds before you snap the ball. We had 33 minutes and change of time of possession. last week, and I think it could have been substantially more. And let's just say 12, 14 seconds times 40 plays. I don't know, you do the math. Maybe it amounts to another 6-7 minutes of time of possession for Michigan, okay? Where if you're going against a school like Ohio State, Nebraska, taking that away from their offense can make the difference in winning a game. And, they talk about Bryce, Doc, my take, dual threats, yada, yada, yada. I get it, but Pen Game, I don't want to see the kid get hurt because of inept coaching and unaccountable to have that offensive line in the physical and mental condition that they're in right now to protect that kid. I don't find them to be mentally fit or physically fit. I don't.
No.
The centers and the guards are problem areas. And for them to know that coming in, and there's no excuses. The coaching staff's filled. The recruits are coming in. We have a lot of good offensive linemen coming in. It really pisses me off. It really does. But personally, selfishly, I want to see Bryce Underwood have a long NFL career, okay? He can throw the ball from anywhere to anywhere on the field. He has the intellect and the intuition and the physical talent. Sure, the kid's big. Sure, he has legs, okay? So what? So what? I would rather him be the next Doug Williams. With Doc, it's been 40 years. 40 years since Doug. Warren Moon didn't win a Super Bowl, okay? And I think Bryce could be better than both of them. And I don't want to step beyond that, Doc, but my take on it, it comes from a good place. And as I said, the kid's phenomenal talent. If they get him hurt, just make something happen because they're calling stupid plays or due to an ineffective offensive line, somebody needs to be fired for that. That's my take. If that happens, God forbid that happens.
I think the offensive line is going to be a little bit better. Wait, did you have a comment you wanted to touch on?
No, Marmar wanted me to highlight what something CG72 said. There are 3 here.
Dom, stop that. This is not Michigan football from the 80s. Look, these naysayers with this old school Michigan football. Football is a simple game, guys. It's about physically dominating your opponent. You have 4 plays to get 10 yards. You have 40 seconds to play. You average 3.5 yards a carry. You're taking 2 minutes off of the clock. You sustain a 15-yard drive that ends in a field goal or a touchdown, and you're in the lead. You've taken 8-9 minutes off the clock, 10 minutes off the clock. You have a cold offense coming in and a well-rested defense that's ready to go out on the field. And I don't know, Doc, am I mistaken? But we won 3 back-to-back, 3 Big Ten titles, a national title, and we had 3 losses using that philosophy. But I'm just an old guy who doesn't know what the hell he's talking about.
Well, that was the winning formula.
I would have to come in and say he's absolutely right from a player's perspective. When you're playing in a season, especially football, even basketball, but definitely football is more physicality. You want to make it throughout the season. At the beginning of the season, you have a little bit of extra adrenaline than what you have at the end of the season. Dom, yeah. You understand? You feel me? Yeah, you feel like you can go out there and do anything at the beginning of the season. And as soon as you meet that ground repeatedly, and then don't be in areas where it gets cold. It's a whole you really want to last as a player. So all this, like the blocking for the running back, that's not going to be happening in November. That's not going to be happening. And they're going to be using him sparingly as time goes on, but more instinctively would be his advantage. I know that we're talking about design runs. I'm thinking more of give me the 5 to 10. I'm not concerned with the 20s. I just need that 3rd down to be 3rd and 1, manageable, or hell, we get the first down, so there's no need for the third down. That's
Exactly.
winning. That's winning football. That is what it takes for a freshman quarterback who's built. Because with him, he can do it instinctively. The difference between him and these other great guys that are NFL quarterbacks now that we're talking about, guys, we're talking to Lamar Jackson, we're talking to Josh Allen, these guys that are mobile and can throw. Bryce automatically is coming in on that level because of his arm talent. His arm talent is the way he makes throws is humanly impossible to teach him as far as the footwork that you need for the throws that he makes. He's making these throws because of
Yes.
he's gifted. He's
Yes.
gifted. And
Yes.
then not a,
Very
Bryce
rare. Very,
throws,
very rare,
Bryce
Pancake.
throws, and you guys notice Bryce throws the ball 40 yards going like this on the side.
Yes.
A
Yes.
freaking flick. He doesn't even go like this. He doesn't
Yes.
even go all the way back. He goes
It's
like
like,
that, and it
it's
goes
like,
freaking 40 yards. When you got that, that is this. We're just looking at freshmen and Michigan fans who to chill out. The development of this guy is imperative because
yes.
I want to be taking scarlet and gray and bending it over and waxing. So that
Yes.
the way that you get that to happen is we do it from within the pocket, and then the running game is going to be there. We're not going to go away from our running identity. The run will actually be there more because now I go to my basketball playing. It's like having a point guard with good handles, Dom. We can't let this guy, he's moving around. We go commit. Now somebody's open, and now we have to go and help relay D. We're out of position. So
Yes.
that's how it's going to be in football. Dom says it's physicality and it's also about numbers. When we move in space, that's how we separate the numbers, guys. When we get the ball in space, now all the other people are out of the way. So now athletic ability, instinctiveness, that comes into play when you got the athletes to execute this with these guys. And we're a year away. We don't have the guy. We don't have the guy yet. We know how this player looks. We've seen him on other teams and on our team at times. We know how that receiver looks. We don't have that guy. So he's going to have to win relying on that tight end and that offensive line and that running game. And then take your shots and then run when it's there and when it's safe. And when it's the big game, then bowl a mug over. Bowl somebody over in Ohio State because it's the big game. But other than that, play winning football, go out there, execute at a high level, and this team should be very well ready by November.
When I'm
Hold on.
interested, sorry.
Well, a quick question. Since you just mentioned we don't have the guy, Abdul Gaines said, what are you guys' opinions of the Wolverines wide receiver core?
I'll let you guys go first.
They're looking good. That what they need to do is roll Bryce out quite a bit, or even like um, you know, turn and go off the weak side and get people open. And I think that's like their key to success with the offensive line that we have is to keep it a little bit mobile. And if we have if we're going a pocket passing style, which I don't think we'll do much, we need to just tuck the ball and run after a couple of seconds rather than taking a sack. That's how you get hurt. Is you wait too long and then you get hurt. So I think like tucking and running and keeping the quarterback on the move, like designed rollouts, is going to be what's gonna help the offense. As far as the receivers go, if he's rolling out, the receivers are going to be open much more consistently. So it's going to help the receivers. And as far as like the talent goes, like we can't drop balls. So it doesn't do you any good. We've seen it in the past 10 years to have extremely athletic receivers that don't catch the ball. And that's like my pet peeve as a former receiver myself. But the receivers are good. The tight ends coming back and being healthy are going to help out a lot because um, it's going to draw matchups that they can't neglect on the tight ends, and that should help with the receivers. I think we need to try to get McCauley some fade routes and challenge smaller backs. McCauley did drop one that I think he dropped one maybe a couple times, and that was kind of disheartening. But I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't throw it away just yet, because if he's matched up against a smaller cornerback, he's going to be able to make some plays. So I like what we have at receiver. We'll see.
Anyone else?
I just think that there's as a whole, I think I don't want to say identity. I think the team lacks leadership. And if we could take Bredson and have him in a more of, instead of a utility position, more of a running back, a wide receiver, maybe not wide receiver, but a running back. I don't think he's exerting himself enough as a leader. I think the team just lacks player leadership as a whole. And I appreciate Justice Haynes. I think he's a really great back. But from what I've seen from Jordan Marshall, I really think that he would have been more of a quorum type leader to the team, holding people accountable, just like Jordan used to do with the Bulls. He'd get there early and work. If I'm the star, if I'm here doing the work, you better get your ass in here and do the work too. And I think maybe that's missing. I don't know what it is. I'm interested to see this week the defensive tackles. Let's pick two, start them. Let's have two backups. The rest of you guys keep working hard and allow these guys to get in the flow of the game. And stop this. We're going to put in 10 different defensive tackles in the course of the game, because Penn game, I'm sure you could elaborate on this. It's when you're in the trenches, it's a game within the game. You know, you get, the more you play, the more against you go, the guy in front of you, the more it's one-on-one. Maybe there's some trash talking. You're picking up on tendencies that gives you an advantage on the next play. That's removed when you're putting a fresh guy in every 3 plays.
Rhythm.
Wide receivers. I mean, Goodwin, there's been some drop balls. I think that'll improve. We're only 3 weeks in. We're only 3 weeks into the season, and Bryce is only going to get better. And Big Brother said it here in the chat, like Dan Marino. I said that to you, Doc, a week ago or so ago. With that release, Penn game, like you said, it's like I'm like, who does this kid throw like, or even close? And Dan Marino was the first one I thought of, because Dan could just pick apart the field, but he couldn't run. But yeah.
I heard Elway. Someone said Elway before too. I've heard Elway, and this is my first time hearing Dan Marino, but I've heard those two, and those are two good guys to be compared to.
Yes,
Elway and Marino, man.
Yeah.
Who else needed to answer? Because I was letting everybody go.
Well, one thing is I haven't seen a lot of accuracy on deep balls from Bryce. So, I mean, maybe the receivers do perform better if those deep throws are more accurate. And that's not, talking bad about Bryce. Like he's going to need time to develop and read defenses, and that's going to come in time, in my opinion. I don't know. But he hasn't been that accurate on the deep balls. So another thing,
Keegan, right?
one more thing on
that.
that.
That was my issue too. The deep balls, like we got to connect on them. We have to connect, keep defenses honest.
You know how you connect. You know how you do that, Mar. You finish, but you know how you do that. You got to use it. You got to throw it. You got to throw the ball.
You got to let it go.
In order to do it, that's how you do it. You have to. You have to do it.
You got to let it go.
And another thing I want to see out of Bryce is taking a little bit of speed off the short passes, make it a little bit easier on the receivers, because he's throwing bullets, and that's hard to catch, man. If you ever been to a football camp or something, and you see that ball coming out of a machine going 100 miles an hour, like, it's not just like high school where you're getting a short pass. Like, that ball is hard.
No, you played receiver, and that's what I played when I was in college. I played receiver and a little tight end, and we had 2 quarterbacks, and you know which one, the one that you're going to pick. You already know what I'm about to say. It's the one that has the catchable ball, and that is important for those intermediate routes. You got a guy hammering it back there. It's on because if it touches your hands, you got to catch it. It don't matter how fast the ball's coming. That's how the coaching staff's going to look at you. So you got a guy throwing the missiling it in there. You got to step your game up as a receiver and snatch that ball out of the air. And that's where the athleticism comes in at, because if it hits you, it's hitting your hands, man. You're going to miss it 9 times out of 10 trying to catch a missile like that. You almost got to scoop it out of the air.
And it's not that he can't do it. He's probably just so excited and full of
He is
adrenaline.
excited. That's why he's
Yeah.
missing the deep shots, because this is Dom was bringing it up previously, and Marmar has brought it up. And man, you're 17 years old, man. Not too long ago, man. I got a deep shot in a D1 game. I got the wing helmet on. This is gonna go big, man. Adrenaline, like we got to. That's why I said we got to let this thing develop, and it develops by keeping him healthy. Number one, it develops by letting him see everything once, as far as the defenses. So there's, even if he plays well, we have to allow these things to take place, because as players, these are the things that people on the outside don't think about. You got this guy's a brand new, like they say, a brand new car. They keep comparing him to cars. Well, that car needs some miles. So we gotta make sure this guy stays healthy, build continuity with the receivers.
Great point.
The receivers have to get comfortable with him at the same time as he's going through these things, and we'll be able to tell with how engaged they are in their route running. If we're starting to see guys break open and guys go after the ball, we know they're comfortable with him and they have confidence in him. And you can see receiving cores that are not in link with the quarterback. It's kind of a dragging around, missing balls, and guys kind of, you see it in their body language every week on all different teams. So you can tell, and I think just doing a little bit more run and making it where it's these guys are breaking open. They got to spread the field out. That's going to help them out in that process. So we'll see against a better opponent, which I'm looking forward to. I'm not making a guess on any score. I've heard what people are saying out there. I think Michigan can score. I'll just tell you guys this. I think Michigan is capable of scoring more than what everybody thinks. So, and I don't do these spreads. Because I'm not even going to get into that. But I'm not basically taking the bait on that. That score can be a lot higher as far as what I'm thinking Michigan can do. If Michigan goes in there and takes care of freaking business, be physical at the line of scrimmage, take care of business in the trenches, do the things that matter, and this game will be in doubt. It wouldn't even matter that there's a freshman quarterback back there. Like, we need to take care of the other guys, need to step up and take care of business. Like, this kid is a kid. Now it's time to get up on his level, match his energy, and go out there and use my experience as these other players have, and mesh that with this guy. And now you're a team, and let's go.
We have a hot take here from Span Marchioli. He says, if Underwood gets a serious injury in his first year, the whole staff will get fired. I hope he runs as needed only.
Yeah.
I'm with that.
That's what Dom said.
I have a point on that, and then I'd like to ask Dom. This goes back to Dom's original statements. So he's a dual threat quarterback, and he was rated as such in high school. So, in my opinion, what's up?
I said, so what?
Okay, all right. Well, here's the so what. So my opinion is, it's doing him a disservice to not allow him to use the full reach of his talents, and he might feel like, well, if I'm handcuffed and I can't use this ability, which makes me so good, then I'm not happy about that, because he's going to want to run. So what are your thoughts on that, Dom?
My all-time favorite, and I miss him dearly, Keith Jackson from ABC. I learned so much about the history of the game on Saturday watching him call. He'd always reference something from the past, and I would learn something from Keith Jackson. But he used to always say, you never know what an 18-year-old's going to do until he goes and does it. And that is the truth. And the problem is Bryce's age. He's a young man. Think back to when, I don't know if I can remember that far back when I was that age, and more decisions being emotional and of the moment than of logic and maturity. And it's just a thing we all go through. And the dual threat, yeah, I understand that. That's what he was rated in high school when he was a man amongst boys. And now here in college, he's still upper echelon amongst the other talent on the field. However, when he goes to the NFL, then that playing field's even. Regardless of the team, regardless of the record, it's even Steven. 53-man roster, and it's business, and everybody's in shape fast. And so it benefited him in high school. It could help him in college. It's not going to be beneficial in the NFL. And just look at Lamar Jackson. You mentioned it, Penn game. You see those 3 passes yesterday? Maybe 3-4 years ago, he would have tucked the ball and ran.
Yep.
He got tired of being dinged up for the playoffs, and he's one hell of a pocket passer now, man. Impressive. And quite honestly, I'm tired of seeing him get the short end of the stick against Buffalo in some of these games. They should have had that game. It'll come. But just because he's dual threat now doesn't mean he's going to be dual threat then. And all I'm trying to say is his release, his arm throwing, his accuracy, and his intellect, because he makes the reads. You could watch him make the reads. You want him thinking to be a pocket passer, so that's where his focus is, and not have a slippage that a normal 18-year-old might have, where this stuff isn't working. I can't wait for these guys. I'm going to have to put this on me. I'm going to have to make a play now, and he overextends himself and gets injured. That's my fear.
Yeah, I guess I disagree because I hear what you're saying. The development of a player is really important, and Michigan is all about that. But the objective in competition is to win the game. Like you see John Mateer doing what's necessary to win the game and to like handcuff a quarterback who's capable of winning a game. So for the sake of his development, you're also at the same time, while you might be protecting him, you're also hindering him from succeeding, which is going to make him great. So like I don't know that. Go ahead.
May I interject, Keith?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get to your opinion. That's why I bring it up.
And why I'm saying what you're saying is very valid, and it makes utmost sense. However, that kid's worth $12 million. It's a totally different landscape now because of the money. And what you're saying, yeah, that held true, utmost standard until this season. Now it's not only the kid's personal career and his life, but it's the money invested in it now as well. So, yeah, there's a lot to be considered, Keegan. Thank you for allowing me to say that.
Yeah, sure.
Don, we got some Buffalo Bills trash talk here. We're Buffalo guys, me and this guy. He says, hey, Don, keep the city of Buffalo out of your mouth. Josh is better than Lamar.
I'll put it this way, Abdul. I'm a Steeler fan. I'll just keep my mouth quiet for a while.
So, basically, the fan base is split between letting the man cook, let him do what he do best, or keeping him in the pocket, keeping him safe. But what I heard, a lot of people have said this: more quarterbacks get hurt standing in the pocket than they do scrambling out of the pressure. So, like I said, it's going to be a stalemate with that because they're going to have to pick their poison, and that's going to be tough to do because sometimes you call a play, you be like, man, this play about to work, and it don't work. The defense just set up to shut it down. So, I mean, you just going to have to. We just got to see how they do this. Because it's a tough one. This is big for Michigan. We have never been in this position before with a quarterback this talented, a player this talented.
No.
Yeah, we have not been in this position before.
Never.
So
Never.
it has So it's like this the most toughest thing that Michigan has to ever deal with.
Yeah,
Hey,
what I don't like to go ahead,
go ahead,
Mama.
Keegan.
Yeah, what I don't like to see is like in the Oklahoma game where he's not sure if he can run, and then he's in the pocket, and then he tries to escape, and then he's taking multiple hits around his like lower leg areas, and you're like, man, is he getting a twisted knee or a sprained ankle on this? And that's where I do have like sympathy in the argument, like with somebody who is more athletic. Putting themselves in a bad position. Like that's why I think like if it's not there, just tuck it and go. So you're not sitting there vulnerable in the pocket and then just trying to like stand up just because they can't take you down and multiple people are hitting you. Like he's gonna have to learn how to take a hit and how to be smart with like how he's setting himself up to being tackled.
And I think what Dom was saying was that when you have those two different quarterbacks, as far as the John Mateer, I hear a lot of people, well, John Mateer did 19 carries, blah, 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 blah. Those two athletes can't be compared together as far as them on the field and what they do. John Mateer, his 19, he's a different style of runner than Bryce. But Keegan, I'm still with you. I'm just saying that what Dom is saying, people are misconstruing. They're taking it too literally. Basically, what he's saying is the same thing I'm about to say right here. He needs to run, but I'm more looking at the athleticism and the flow of how he runs. Because Dom brought it up. Nobody's really thinking about this part of it. To be both a dual threat, but to be even more highly rated as a passing quarterback, there's a progression that goes through. Like that's a thought. That's like a download. It's like a system. So when he's out there, he has that system. Most quarterbacks, that's why there's not very good ones that have both. Most of them are better with one than the other. So because you instinctively adjust from one to the other as far as how you're thinking on the field, because those guys got to think quick. In the Oklahoma game, that's what we do not want, because I don't like when guys are thinking, because you can see it on the tape. I do not like that. With our defense, you can tell a lot too. When guys are thinking, they're slower, and that's how you get hurt. Look at that Oklahoma game? How many injuries did we have in that game, guys? Because guys were thinking. And when other guys are not thinking, that's how you get hurt. So his athleticism, making him run, I want him to be able to go in the flow of it and get those five and get out of bounds or slide. I don't want it to be because he's desperate and he's fleeing in the pocket because his hair is on fire.
Yes.
I want it to be within his athleticism and the flow of his body, because Bryce still has to work on his speed. This guy is out of high school. Like when he breaks and gets out, there's an extra gear that Bryce can hit. We saw that Central Michigan at 4th and 1. He can go faster than that. You got to just put on 20 pounds. Dom, how easy is it to accelerate as a 17, 18-year-old when you just put on 20 pounds? Did you not think Bryce Underwood looked a little bit like a baby deer, when he got out in the open on some plays? That's why the guy just put on 20. I'll lose 8 and chisel it up for next season and lose that 8 and just be 220. Because this guy needs to be more electric to do that run. That's why I said, give us the 5 and the 10. We're not worried about all that 20, 30 Heisman stuff. Win the game. Do the smart stuff. That's why I said, Keegan, I'm with you on the running. Do the smart stuff, but I'm also thinking that we kind of misconstrued what Dom was really saying, which is we need to, because I be damned, and I pound on this table when I say this. We need Ohio State, man. Like we need playoff Ohio. Like we need to get there. I don't like when our fan base gets too overreacting over stuff. It's like there's certain things. Yes, you want to start off the blocks. Yes, there's going to be hiccups or things of that nature. But when it comes to the quarterback, especially a quarterback as talented as this guy, keeping this kid upright is the most important thing. Guys should be in the back. If I'm his running back.
Yeah.
Like we said with the last show, Dom, they were talking about Justice Hayes on the block. Oh,
Yeah.
he turned around and he wasn't there. You know
Look
why he
out.
turned around and he wasn't there? Because Hayes was like, the hell with this play. I got to go block. That's a bailout block. Every offense has that when you just know, hey, there's no time. It's either that or this guy's going to fumble the ball because he's going to get laid out. So you got to go. You have to, if I'm that guy, I'm clipping guys, even if it's a penalty. I'm clipping guys because on that play, I'd rather take the yardage than my quarterback getting injured. So that's why I was saying, Dom, they were teaching us then, you got to go low on those big guys. You got to get those guys airborne because if you're trying to go at them chest to chest, they're going to bow your little ass over and they're sacking your quarterback. So you get those guys low, chop that tree, and we can protect this guy, man. We just got to we need to embrace our physicality style and merge the two. And that's what I think they're doing. And Sharon's getting a lot of heat for it, which is proper, but we got to let this thing gel too at the same time because we need our running game. Come on, we're Big Ten fans. We need it. We know this stuff is cute when it's September and when it's warm outside, but guys, come on. We're in the Big Ten, and we know what wins Big Ten championships. Going back to what Dom said, you're just coming off these three. So if we're going to keep the momentum rolling, we don't need to just abandon what we do. We still need to make sure we're running, and that kid's going to stay healthy. We get him to next year, get him some better receivers. I just want to get him healthy through this season, get him experience. If we win, great. I love it. If we hiccup if we hiccup or whatever. But he needs to stay healthy, man. We got to keep this guy healthy because we still can. There's weapons we can still acquire for this young, talented man. And I think he can get better as far as his decision making. He'll be able to throw that deep ball with more accuracy, getting stronger and getting mentally prepared for not being overly excited because I just turned 18 a freaking month ago. Like, I mean, this guy's got to be excited, man. When I was 18, I would love to have walked out and been a quarterback for Michigan University. I probably wouldn't be starting, even if I had all the talent in the world, because of just that pressure, man. So we got to give this guy his flowers, man, and just keep him protected and let him grow. It's going to be a beautiful thing to see it happen organically. We finally got one.
Yes.
We got some comments coming in here. Big L says, I never heard the fan base this cautious with JJ. Why are we so concerned with Bryce getting injured?
They were concerned about JJ. The coaches were, at least.
That's true.
Bryce is unique. He's unique like Michael Jordan was unique.
I'm gonna go with what Dom says on this one because he's
unique.
the man.
And if you can't, if a person who watches football can't see it in his throwing mechanism, his footwork, the way he sets himself up throwing, rolling left, throwing right, I mean, then go watch some film.
I'll give them a hint, Dom. I'll give them one hint for you. Guys, when that guy throws the ball out of his hand, right, and you're watching ESPN or whatever, SportsCenter, seeing it on YouTube, look how fast the lines underneath the pass move, meaning the 25, the 30, the 35. Look how fast from the tip of his fingers. We're not even talking the release. When the ball goes, it's like a freaking dart.
Bingo.
That's not supposed to happen. That is not supposed to happen. That is not. If that was the case, how many people would be great quarterbacks if that was something God balanced in the equation? That right there is how you can tell, man. And then the ball gets there, boom, and it's not wobbly or duck. That's a different talent, and that's a different intelligence that most people that are not entrenched in the nuances of the game do not realize. That's why people say they say he's a talent, a thrower of the ball. So we got to keep him healthy, man.
Yeah. I don't know. 2 games in, and people are so scared. This kid was a Corvette the other day. He's still a Corvette, but I'm not going to take my Corvette off-roading. You know what I mean?
Hey, there's Hummers out there, Dom. There's Hummers. You're in the Corvette, I'm in the Hummer. You know, you can be as fast as you want. If I hit you, you're going down. So that's where it is. And I'm just saying, guys, when you run to win the game, down in distance, and let's not get too cute. I'm thinking against the bigger competition, knowing speaking from other coaches and just seeing football over the years, we're probably gonna hear, hey, when you improvise, you know, we're not Central Michigan. So get out of bounds or slide, man. You know, because that speed, that's the difference between the levels. When he gets into the second level of the defense against Central Michigan, he goes and gets that touchdown. Against Nebraska, there's going to be a safety already over there. They're going to meet there, whereas Central Michigan, he was able to get through that guy. That move that he made to get that touchdown against Nebraska, that's a tackle. So that's where being smart with him, especially as it gets colder and those shoulders landing. Like, you know, we need these shoulders to not hit ice cold ground over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. He's gonna get hit in the pocket too. So you just got to be sparingly with this guy. You know, what was the last guy we had like that? Devin Gardner. You know, got beat to crap out there and was playing injured and damn near beat Ohio State. So you just got you. I agree. As much as I grew up Michael Vick fan, Randall Cunningham was my first experience, Dom. Seeing a guy that can maneuver around the pocket like that. Cunningham was the first one that I really liked. Steve Young was next for me. Watching Steve Young come around, and guys, my pops was stationed in Berlin during the 90s, so the wall was up, and we used to go to Frankfurt Galaxy back when those teams were out there, and I watched the Bears and the Niners, Mike Singletary, Jerry Rice, Brent Jones, Roger Craig, you know, Ronnie Lott, Jim Harbaugh, all these guys out there. And I'm down by the end, and they're all giving me that. What's up, little man? What's up? I don't even know, you know, who these guys are, just sitting up there watching. But I'm just saying that to say this. That not too much about football has changed. And that's why I really like guys that are into nuances like Dom, because you got to protect the asset as the quarterback at all given times. 9-3.
I'll take it. I'll take it as long as we beat Ohio State.
I'm good with that.
That's all that matters this year to me is keep Bryce healthy, beat Ohio State. We're not a national championship team. And if we're not winning the title, does it really effing matter if we go to the playoffs? It really doesn't. Sure, it'd be good for Bryce, get some experience. But, you know, the linemen that we have coming in, and it's important that the line improves and the team improves, at least in the fundamentals and consistency, because we don't want to get decommits. But, I mean, we got Malachi Lee, Tristan Bear, Babalo. I think they were banking on that young man to help out this year, and with him going down has really been a handicap for us. Haywood, he played well last week. Give that kid some time. We have Lou Esposito. And then we have that Bear McCordle. Am I saying his name correctly? From Alabama, I believe.
McWhorter.
Yeah, McWhorter. Thank you. And then there's another guy I saw. I was unaware of. Marty Walbridge. The guy's like 6'8", 6'9". He's already committed. I mean, these are Jim Harbaugh linemen. These are Bo Schembechler linemen. These are Lloyd Carr linemen. And what I want to see Michigan get into is that pro set offense and use Bryce where you're able to run, you have the play action, and now they're thinking you're going to run the ball again, and boom, you pop that route down the sidelines and touchdown. That's what I want to see.
So, agreed. Gentlemen, I appreciate you coming up. I have to wind down in about 10 minutes, but Dom, you've given me a different way of looking at the season. I was thinking we got to make the playoff, but you sound like you're not pressed to make it.
No, I mean, really, if Bryce was not the self-confident, media-aware kid that he is, it's like no big deal. He's probably used to having cameras on him when he's in the potty. So with that off the table, Doc, him playing an extra game on television at night, does it really matter for us? I don't think so. I don't think it will. As the season goes on, I think it's going to matter less and less. We got 3 games in from 36 total, not counting pro season. Let's not rush it. Let's break that engine in nice. We want it to hum.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with that. Like we don't have the players that I'm envisioning the Mona Lisa, to use a painting reference. And right now we don't have the paint that's going to get me that image. So we're going to have to, this is a developmental year and a training year. And I mean, no one's going to openly admit and say that because you want to go out and win a championship. We're just trying to give our perspectives on it from all the football that we've watched collectively, all of us together. And we're just trying to get our analysis on that using those reference points. And if he can go out there and win it, then he deserves it. If the team, they deserve it. But I'm not gonna go put my money on it because there's unknowns from week to week, and there's gonna be more unknowns as the season goes on, and that is all predicated to health. That's why being healthy is a key prime objective, because that will detour a season and that will devastate a team if it's the player that's getting the bulk, if you know what I'm saying. So
yes,
that could devastate a team. So you gotta keep healthy. Guys gotta sleep. They can't mess around, man. These hits are gonna start adding up here real soon.
Well, I was gonna say, half the fan base is gonna.
See, I'm on the. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I like what I've seen in seeing the freshmen make plays. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I'm saying? So that tells me the development is better than where we was at last year for these freshmen compared to last year. So that's a good sign. Like I said, Rob Moore is the key to that defense. That's it. He know how to, he tells them to get the spots. And but yeah, man, I like how the third string held up against Central Michigan. They ain't let them score. So again, I like what I've seen. So let's see what happens. My vision is going to Indianapolis again to a Big Ten championship. That's just for me, though. I want to see that again.
I agree. Win the Big Ten, and
yeah, that's a good time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For the fans, for the players, and for America, because we is American team. We's American team. That's it. They can hate on us all they want. They can hate on us all they want. But at the end of the day, Michigan is here to stay. And
I'm telling you guys, I could be the most talented quarterback in the world, Dom, and you guys are my line. I ain't getting nowhere without you guys. So that's the thing. No one's saying, some of the people in the comments, no one's saying that we don't look at Bryce individually and don't think he's physically capable of doing the runs. It's just, this is a team game. There's other guys out there that if they fall asleep at the wheel, then you're on your ass real quick and you didn't see it coming. So those things are not fair to Bryce, to absorb. Those guys got to be taking care of business, and that's
just play
what
to his strengths.
Football's about.
Make him comfortable. Yeah, make him comfortable in the pocket. Play to his strengths and develop him that way. You know what I'm saying? Because like you say, by the time he go to that Ohio State game, he'd be more polished than he was back in the New Mexico game.
That's the test.
And
he's at Michigan. He's at Michigan.
And he at home for this.
Nothing changes.
Yep. And
same expectations every season.
Let me throw a wrench in here.
I'm going to check out, Doc. Thank you so much.
Before you check out, Dom. Hold on, Dom. Before you check out, listen. I'm going to throw a wrench in here. Is Michigan win against New Mexico better than Ohio State win against Texas?
It doesn't matter.
At this moment in time.
I got to pick for you, though. You want to pick Auburn. I like Auburn this Saturday out of everything. But Doc,
I do
thank you
too.
so much for having
Thank
me.
you.
It's a
Marmar,
pleasure,
Keegan,
man, talking
Pen
with you,
Game,
Love you.
man.
thank you. Go
Appreciate you, Pen
Blue,
Game.
go Blue, and we just love Michigan football. We want to do well. It was a long time for that natty. 97 to 2023 was a long time, Doc.
Yeah, it
Whew.
was.
I could wait another year or two as long as as long as Bryce make this. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to belabor it. Thank you very much, guys. Take care. Love you guys.
Yep,
All
love you
right.
too,
Go
man. Take
Blue.
care.
Thanks,
Go
Dom.
Blue.
All right,
And
guys. I'm gonna give you time for parting shots, and I gotta wind down myself. I gotta go back to battle tomorrow myself.
So
Yeah, I
my
guess.
closing, my final thoughts is I'm watching this weekend. I want to see what we build on. How comfortable you did make this young man. This is second time on the road. He should be more comfortable um, than he was in Oklahoma. Um, the defense should be well prepared. Um, and Vic Posey is a great game manager. So I think that helps and plays a factor into that. So hopefully they go out there and execute the players and get the victory. My prediction, I don't have one. I'm gonna just watch the game. Mic drop.
All right.
Yeah, I guess the reason I fundamentally disagree with a lot that was like said based on analysis is based on people's analysis on this season. So I agree with everything, all the points that were made. Well, for the most part, but like I think this team does have a shot at a playoff run and a natty, and will compete. Um, and like last year, we were in a similar position. We had a rough start, and then like who would have thought if we would have won earlier games, like what would have happened if we would have made the playoffs, and things could be a lot different last year had we made the playoffs. So that's why I fundamentally disagree. I think you just go out there and win games. So um, I understand you want to protect the quarterback, and there's ways to do that, but like I don't think that a conservative approach is the correct approach. I think that um, it's not honoring Bryce when you're trying to protect him that much. So um, that's my final thoughts. I appreciate it, guys. Go Blue, and thanks for having me on.
Thank
you're
you,
the
Keegan.
Go
man,
blue.
bro. Go
Pen
Blue.
game.
Yeah,
Brandon.
Thank you, Keegan.
just off of that note, pretty much agreeing on that. I just believe there's when there's an athlete in the backfield, the elusiveness and whatnot evades a lot of those other John Mateer type of quarterbacks that have to physically take a lot of more hits. That's just where I was getting at with that and agreeing that yeah, you do protect them, but yeah, you got to run them. Definitely run them. We need to see some running against Nebraska to keep that defense honest. Looking at their
And if you,
defense, they have not really played anyone. So a lot of those stats are inflated, guys. So we can't get scared off of these stats and statistics with them. We just need to make sure that our deep. This is a. They said it's going to be between our offense and their defense. I disagree. I think this is our defense versus their offense because that's the type of tempo that our defense needs to set, and they have yet to do that on film or put that out there. I believe the offense is going to do as much as they need to do to win this game. That's why I predicted the outcome to be a little bit higher in score than what everyone else is saying and what Vegas is. I do believe that this offense is capable with Bryce maneuvering around and setting up his team and putting that defense on their heels, able to get a little bit more points than what people are projecting. But that defense, making sure that we keep Raiola at bay, our defense is going to have to step up to the challenge and take on their defense head on and make sure that they give our offense an opportunity to outscore. And our special teams is going to be huge. So Zavada, come on, Morgan and these guys on these returns, we can't have any mess ups. So I'm just going to lean on that, and that's my final. Go Blue on that.
Okay. Thank you, Pen game. Hope to see you again.
No, I appreciate you bringing me in. And Marmar told me about your show, so I just came in. I try to get on as many as I can to help these guys out. So definitely going to be checking you out, brother. You guys, peace. You guys have a good night. Go Blue.
All right, thank you. Dot again. I think that's Steve. I'm trying to wind down, so I'll give you the last word.
Oh, my bad. So no, I just wanted to make this quick. I came in and talking about stats. I noticed today that, and I talked to Mama about this, that Nebraska, although they have the pass defense, they have the number 75 rush defense. I think where they're going to have issues with Michigan is that Michigan likes to kill and control the clock. So if they're gassing them for, because they give up 136 a game rushing, Michigan is clearly going to get over, I believe, 136, even with that offensive line that's still makeshift and kind of figure it out. I think where Nebraska's in trouble is they're probably not ready for Barham and Derek Moore. And I also don't think they're ready for the tight ends of Michigan either. So it's going to be an interesting type of game plan. Raiola, sometimes he has the ability, like Johnny says, to make bonehead plays, try to do too much. He thinks he's Mahomes for real, not just in look, but in actual playing. So I would say it's going to be a close game, but with that bad of a rush defense, I really think Michigan will wear them down by the third quarter because they anticipate the throw. But to have played the schedule they played and still be 75th in rush defense, that says a lot about them. So I think it'll be like a 14, 17-point win. I just do. Could be wrong, but that's just me.
Okay. Appreciate that.
I agree. I totally agree. They could get ugly quick, especially with Haynes running the ball. And Jordan Marshall came on in that Central Michigan. He got his feet wet. So yeah, there you go, go Blue. Appreciate
All
you
right.
having me. All right.
Thanks, Mama. Talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Peace. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all the guys. Thank you to all the guys who came up. I'm gonna stop this right here. Yeah, shout out to Bo Lytle. Please like, share, and subscribe. Respect is earned. Yeah, so look for me to give a reaction to the game on Saturday. It's a 4 o'clock, 4:30 kickoff. So that means it's gonna wrap up probably around 7:30, assuming it doesn't go into overtime. So I'm going to give some reaction immediately afterwards. But thank you to the guys who came up. Thank you to you guys who hung out there in the chat. And I will talk to you all again soon. Go Blue. As always, remember that your attitude determines your altitude. Always try to do your best. Take care, and I will talk to you all the next time. Bye-bye. Go Blue.